Excuse how I look, no makeup, hair not combed, whatever. But I wanted to show you what I did yesterday. I went out into the yard and my rose, my wild rose that's right on the corner of the fence by my front yard, had tons of rose hips on it. So I picked them. Let me show you. Let's see if I can get it all in the... Oh. Isn't it gorgeous? Just a lot of them. And they're a little bit tedious to work with, because when you fix them, you have to, there's a bloom end and then the stem, and that has to be taken off, both the bloom and the stem off. And there's a number of recipes that I've looked at, things you can do with rose hips. You can make tea, and for that you can dry them and use them to make tea, or you can dry them and put them in a blender, make a powder out of it. And there's a number of different recipes. But what I think I'm going to do with all these, I'm going to make rose hip jelly, and I will let you know what the process as I go along with this rose hip jelly. I think that's what I really want to do with the rose hips. And you can see over here I've got some cantaloupe seeds in there too that are already dried, and these are in the process of drying, that I will plant out next year and maybe get some cantaloupes. These seeds came from the neighbors, grew some cantaloupe and gave me some cantaloupe, so I save the seeds. I tend to save seeds in everything. And these zucchinis are kind of on their last legs, I think. They look a little bit gross. And apples off of our tree, we don't spray our trees, so we have to share with the worms. But these are really nice and sweet. And since we've had frost, I picked my tomatoes, and I've had several helpings of fried green tomatoes, which are quite yummy. Oh, I was also going to show you the lovely white pumpkin I bought it at Safeway. My bushes that I raised didn't really, well, I need to go out today after it warms up a little bit. It's still kind of dark and cold out there. And I had a bush that had some pumpkins. Mine were real small and they weren't white ones. So I'll see how it's doing. Might have to pick it whether it's totally ripe or not. I'll still be able to do something with it. Anyway, I thought I'd show you this. It's kind of pretty. And since it's October, there's tons of pumpkins at the store. At the store. And the white one was on top, so I grabbed it. Well, my first job after cleaning them then is cooking them down. And that's what I'm doing now. I've got it on high to kind of get them started, but I'll turn it down now that they're starting to boil. Turn it down to medium and stir occasionally so they don't stick or anything. And let them boil down. I don't know how long that will take, but I've read. I keep losing the picture there. I'm trying to do two things at once. Hold the camera in one hand and stir in the other hand. That's like a little bit like patting your belly and rubbing your head or whatever. Anyway, the 10 or 15 minutes or maybe longer until they're the consistency that I want. So I will come back and show you when I get to that point. Okay, these have been cooking and now I'm smashing them up. Needed to add water. I had just a tad bit of water in the bottom of the pan so they didn't scorch, but I realized that they didn't really have much liquid in them, and we need the liquid, of course. So I added a couple of cups of water and squishing them up here, and then I'll let them cook a little bit more. cook down a little better because they're still kind of firm. But we're getting some nice juice here. It's looking good. It's interesting how all those seeds pop out, isn't it? But I've heard that the seeds are the part that has the most vitamins and such. So let that cook a little more. Okay, we'll finish this up. You need to, after you cook, you need to squash it all, either with a potato smasher or with the blender or food processor, and then run it through a sieve. If you've got muslin, it's good to squish it. The one I had was just a cotton cloth and it was too thick. I didn't have any success, so I just used the strainer. And then I've got this nice liquid. Add enough water to that to make 4 cups. And then you cook that. You put your 4 cups of sugar. I used Splenda because we substitute Splenda for everything sugar. Your 4 cups of sweetener into that and stir it. Bring it to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, a good boil, you add your pectin and 1/2 teaspoon of margarine or butter, and bring it back to a full boil. Time it for 1 minute. Then you ladle it into your sterilized jelly containers and put those in a water bath for boiling for 10 minutes, and that's what you get. And I tasted it because I licked out the pan before I put in my second batch, and I still have my second batch to go, but that's it. And I know that I've seen on the internet where it was all clear, and instead of thick like mine, the consistency on mine turned out more like an apple butter, but it tastes really good. And I don't know what I could have done to make it more not quite so apple buttery, although it doesn't taste like apple butter exactly. I don't know, it's just good. So that's my adventure with fixing rose hips. First time I've ever done it, but I think we're going to enjoy the rose hip jelly, or I'm going to call it rose hip butter because it just turned out more like a butter. And, yeah, that's my video for today. I was just reminded, just yesterday in fact, to always remember where my food comes from. It comes from the Lord. God provides our need for our needs. He's the one who lets us grow a garden. He's the one that lets us forage, whether it's in the woods, along the road, in the park, around the yard. He's the one that inspired people to make grocery stores so that we could go there and buy things if we needed to. Regardless of where we get our food, it all comes from God. And I'm grateful for that. I just wanted to remind you to be grateful for that also. Until next time, happy gardening. And today it's also Happy cooking.